I'm glad you could join me today. Today we're going to make raisin cookies. They're easy to make. If you don't like raisins, you can use chocolate chips or nuts, any other kind of fruit if you want. We like raisins and we eat a lot of these cookies. So in this bowl I have my gluten-free flour with xanthan gum. There's a cup and a quarter in there. I have a half a teaspoon of baking soda. I have half a cup of softened butter. Softened butter is very important. I have 1 healthy tablespoon of molasses. I have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I've got 1 cup of raisins, a mixture of different kinds of raisins, and I have 2 eggs. And that's all this recipe requires. Super simple. So first I'm going to put my baking soda and my gluten-free flour through the sift. Okay, so I'm going to take the soda and put in there. You can add salt if you like, but I use salted butter so I don't add extra salt. And I'm just going to sift these together and set them off to the side. Okay, I'm just going to set that over there for now. Now I'm going to take my brown sugar and my butter and I'm going to cream the two together. This is an important step, and that's why you really need to have softened butter, because it's much easier to do. And as I said before, you can use margarine if you prefer, or shortening, but again it should be softened. It just makes the job easier. These cookies are quite tasty. The important thing to remember is when you make them, put them out on the pan. Don't put them too close together because they do spread. They're quite a thin thing when they're baked. But they're soft and have a nice flavor. We have a person in this house who's not a big fan of raisins, so we'll try to make sure that all the cookies have at least one. That'll keep one Cookie Monster out of the cookies today. There we go. This is a plain cookie. It's nothing fancy, but it is tasty. All right, so there's our softened cookie, sugar and butter mixed together. Now we're going to add the 2 eggs and the molasses. And that's why I always put a healthy amount of molasses in, because a lot of it sticks to the dish. Okay, and then we just mix this together, break up those eggs. You can beat the eggs before you put them in there. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. It's whatever you'd like to do. Sometimes I do it for you so that you can see that it can be done, and other times I just throw them in whole and beat them in there. Now at this point I'm just going to take my other spoon. I'm going to clean off my wooden spoon a little bit. We have a lot of family heirlooms in this house, so the wooden spoon being one of the most important ones. There we go. That's just about done. Once it looks all a piece, you can't identify any ingredients. You can't see the brown sugar, you can't see the egg, you can't see the butter. Then you know it's all well mixed. There. And that's it. Now the next step, we're going to add the flour and soda to this. Mix it all together, then we're going to add the raisins, and we'll be done. Move my little sifter over here out of the way. I'm just going to pour this flour right in here. I often use my hands, as I've told you before, so make sure before you start, if you're a person like me who uses your hands, always wash your hands before you start. Then you don't have to worry about passing any germs into your baked goods. That's another thing. I'm always putting my hands in water. So there, you can see that it starts to mix up. It's quite a soft dough. It's not like some cookie doughs which are quite stiff. This one is almost like a batter than a stiff cookie dough. So that's all you need to do. And now I'm going to add my raisins. As I said, you can add raisins, chocolate chips, nuts, whatever you like. You can put nuts in here with the raisins if you prefer. There we go. Now I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'll get my cookie sheet and we'll put these on the pan and stick them in the oven. Okay, now I've got a parchment covered cookie sheet. You either need to use parchment or you should grease your cookie sheet. And remember to give these cookies lots of space because they'll go quite flat and they'll magically connect to one another if you don't give them enough room. Which isn't a problem because when they're hot you can just take them and separate them with a spatula or a clean knife. Those two will probably join together because I put them too close together. There we go. So when you get this done, it's 350 degrees and you bake them for 12 to 15 minutes. You can tell by looking at them whether they need a little longer. Start out at a lower temperature and then, I guess we can put one more right here, I guess. There we go. He'll probably run into his friend as well. There we go. So we're going to put those in the oven and bake them, and then you'll see the finished product, and I hope you'll give this recipe a try.